This book, it's a really cute one. It's called The Legend of Spookley, the Square Pumpkin. A square pumpkin? Usually they're round. One day in the pumpkin patch, the strangest little pumpkin hatched. Spookley wasn't like his friends. Where they had curves, he had ends. Spookley was different. He was odd, he was rare. Spookley the pumpkin wasn't round, he was square. See how everybody else is round and he's got a square body. While the round pumpkins had fun rolling along, poor Spookley sat there shaped all wrong. He tried and tried with all his might, but he couldn't budge. He just sat tight. So he can't roll because the square makes it so he can't roll. The other pumpkins teased him because he was square. It's not nice. Spookley wished he was round and could roll everywhere. That is until one night when they all discovered it's fine to be round when the weather is fair, but there are times it's better to be square. There's a storm coming in. Halloween was just a day away when a mighty storm blew across the bay. It tossed the round pumpkins to and fro. It snapped their vines. Then off they'd go, bouncing left, slamming right, banging, bashing. What a sight! Spookley sat there filled with fright, but glad to be a square that night. See, so the storm is making all the other pumpkins roll all over the place, back and forth. But Spookley, because he's not round, he's square, he doesn't move in the storm. Suddenly, the fence gave way. 3 pumpkins rolled out and into the bay. Look, the fence has a little broken part and 3 of the pumpkins rolled out because of the storm, and now they're in the water in the bay. Spookley knew what must be done. It was up to him. He was the one. He teetered, he tottered, he tipped, he tried, and finally flipped. He was on his side. Again he tipped, again he flopped, again he flipped, and then he's like forcing himself to get tipped over. He stopped right in the gap where the fence had snapped. He blocked the way. The hole was capped. So he moved himself in front of the hole because he's not going to fall out the hole. He has a hard time rolling. But it's blocking so nobody else can fall out. All the pumpkins shouted, "Hooray!" Spookley the square pumpkin had saved the day. Then a pumpkin hit him with a thwack. He thought his shell would start to crack. Then another one hit him with a thump and another one with a smack. Then, one by one, a ton of pumpkins piled on the stack with a bang and a bash and a crunch and a crash, and then it all went black. At dawn, when the storm had stopped, the farmer came out and checked his crop. He picked his pumpkins up one by one and laid them out in the warm, dry sun. And when the last one was moved away, the farmer could see what had saved the day. An odd-shaped pumpkin, short and dense, was wedged against the broken fence. Its shell was bruised, its stem was too, But there was brave little Spookley sitting straight and strong and true. Right then and there, the farmer knew of all the seeds he'd ever sown, Spookleys were the most special that had ever grown. He saved the whole day. He saved all the pumpkins. And the next year, when it was time to sow, he sowed those seeds in every row. He watered and weeded and watched them grow. And oh, that morning about mid-June, when the pumpkin patch began to bloom, there were tiny pumpkins everywhere, hundreds and hundreds, most of them square. Oh, look at all those cool pumpkins. Some were cubes, and some rectangular, some were flat, and others triangular. There was a bed of bright red ones and 2 rows of blue. There were polka dot pumpkins and rainbow ones too. There were thousands of colors and hundreds of shapes. Oh, what a garden variety makes. They're celebrating being different. Now, every year on Halloween, Spookley's patch is quite a scene. People come from far and near to see what wonders grew that year. They stop, they gawk, they gaze, they stare. Then they pick a pumpkin that is round, triangular, or perfectly square. It's all different shapes and sizes and colors. Now you know the story of how Spookley grew. Maybe someday, if you tell someone too, they'll go tell someone who will go tell another, and maybe one day we'll all discover you can't judge a book or a pumpkin by its cover. This is a really cute story because at first they were making fun of him because he was a little different than them, and then he ended up saving the day. And the other pumpkins really appreciated that he saved them. And then the farmer even celebrated how different he was by making a whole bunch of next year he made a whole bunch of different pumpkins that were totally different than that. So it's good to celebrate our differences. And that's the moral of the story. There are characters in this story. Now, we know it's make-believe because pumpkins can't talk and all that stuff, and they're not going to be a bunch of different colors like that. There are some different colored pumpkins, but not purple or pink or any of those things. So enjoy it. The setting, by the way, is on the farm.